Hey, sweeties. I'm gonna see how quick I can make this. I am leaving this message specifically for those of us that have um, eyes to see and ears to hear. Um, I've been having some very, very interesting conversations with God, and He has literally been wrecking me. Like He rubbing my makeup off. I got one earring on. I mean, y'all pray for your girl. It's real over on these parts. I mean, it's really pray for me. And so, one of the things that God has been doing in this kingdom era, and one of the things that I feel like He's been saying to me, is that He is really shaking the body of Christ up and shaking up the church in a way that is going to very soon become very uncomfortable for people who are comfortable Christians. Um, and there is some fallacy that this walk with God, though glorious and beautiful and wonderful and lovely, somehow equates to um, a birthday party, like all your dreams being fulfilled. And I don't know if you've ever created anything before, but if you have, you created it with a specific intention and probably used it for the purpose with which you created it. And it's very likely that whatever you created had more than one purpose, like had it served more than one function, right? But the intended purpose is the intended purpose, right? And I think that a lot of times we forget that we're the created and we want to put parameters and demands on God for how He is to use us. And I think that some of us are going to be so greatly disappointed in our journey with Him because we won't count up the cost up front. Um, One of the things that I understand very surely, because I've been having encounters with God that have been very awakening, if you will. And I really feel like Jesus is walking on the earth, like teaching the disciples. That's really how I've been feeling the last several weeks. And I really believe that the next 3 months are going to be so critical in the body of Christ that if we do not become fortified in our faith, and some of us are very fortified in our faith, like we get hit, we get knocked down, we get back up. There's earthquakes, but our house stands firm. Like we've got our minds made up. And some of us are recoiling at every negative or uncomfortable thing because everything ain't negative, right? Trauma can come from good things just like it can come from bad things. Like having a baby is both traumatic joyfully and traumatic painfully. Like getting married and blending your life with another human being is both joyful and stressful. Like it's not either or, it's and. And so I'm leaving this message because there are some of you who are at the fork in the road. And the fork in the road is, am I going to be a comfortable Christian and do what's required of me to the extent that I can do it the way I want? And some of you are taking a different turn that says, I'm just going to Abraham this journey out. I have no idea where God is taking me. But I know that no matter how many territories I go through, He's going to be with me. And there's a lot of rewards for that. And there's blessings on both sides. Um, and we've heard it said before that there's, God's permissive will and His perfect will. You can call it what you want. God got one will, the rest of it is just tolerance. It is not my will that my kids do A, B, C, or D, but I'll tolerate it because they have choice and free will, right? And so I'm leaving this message because I feel like my next few messages may hit harder than mama would want to hit. But I don't have a whole lot of control over the impact of the words that I'm given. And so, with that said, um, I want you to think about what the next 3 to 6 months of your life should look like and what you need to do in order to become fortified in your faith and in your commitment to God. And I'm not talking about I believe in God and can't nobody change my mind. It's really easy to spout that when the enemy's not standing face to face with you. But sometimes we get hit with some really, really difficult stuff. And some days just feel so overwhelming. And if you don't get fortified in your soul, the enemy is going to whoop your tail. Just that simple. And so, um, yeah, there's so much that I haven't said and that I am not sure I should say. So I'm going to leave it there because I feel like we're at a crossroads. And those crossroads of decision are going to determine probably what the next decade of our life looks like. And so if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, eat the meat and spit out the bones, right? Because I ain't prophesying to nobody. I'm just territorial over the people that God has assigned to my life and that I will have covenant relationships with. And so I love y'all. And I am looking forward to what the future holds. Okay?